Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Matty Goldberg. Boys, fellas, we got so much going on tonight.
What up,
so
boys?
Much beautiful things. Got to open up by saying, say goodbye to a legend. A legend has died today.
Sir.
That's right. Talk about Jim Irsay.
Yeah. The great owner of the Colts.
Owner of the Colts.
How old was he?
67?
I was seeing the headlines like, that's not that old.
No, but this guy, I mean, have you followed this guy at all?
Oh, yeah. Let's back.
Yeah, this is the ultimate American rich kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
A lot of toys.
I mean, grew up, his dad his dad bought the Baltimore Colts for $12 million in the 70s. And his dad was just like an air conditioning guy that got so successful he could buy an NFL team, which just not going to happen nowadays. And his dad was he played ball. He played ball. Where did he play ball at? I forget. But Jim Irsay played ball somewhere in college, tore up his ankle as a walk-on, and ended up taking over the team when he was like 37 when his dad stroked out.
That's
youngest owner in NFL history.
Sorry, I'm not saying that.
That's living the life.
This is the craziest basketball game I've ever seen. But I'm listening.
No, I'm kind of following along too. Yeah, this basketball game, we're watching Knicks Pacers. It's wrapping up maybe by the time we're done here. It's just a few seconds of overtime. You all know the scores already. But it was funny because I was leaving work tonight and I thought this game was over. The Knicks were up by like 10 with like a couple minutes to go.
3 minutes to go. They're up by 13 with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then Halliburton hits a shot that he thought won the game, and he does the choke sign.
Oh, no.
A la Richie Miller years ago. And then he realizes that they didn't win the game, so now he's got to come back out there after doing that. Wow, this has been a hell of a war.
I like to think that if I were an owner of a sport team, I'd be like Jim Irsay too.
Well, so he was like busted multiple times for like drunk driving and drug possession. But my favorite part though is that he was he claimed he was a victim because he was being targeted because he was a rich white billionaire.
He supposedly had tons of rock and roll like memorabilia.
Guitar magazine said he had the #1 guitar collection in the world.
Like stuff that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame couldn't.
He paid over $4.5 million for the Fender that Kurt Cobain played in the "Smells Like Teen Spirit" video.
Yeah, I forget who he got in a fight with years ago about something. About he was pissed at something. But he's always been a controversial guy. And then his father, ripped the city apart. I mean. The Colts were a shrine. They were just like the most important thing of Baltimore. And he ripped their heart out by moving them in the middle of the night, the infamous Mayflower moving trucks. And I think the Pacers had the ball. Sorry to interrupt.
It's going to be a very unfocused episode.
He was an interesting guy because I remember he did get arrested for like tons of alcohol and benzos and all types of pills. And that was just like some sort of, they profiled me because I was a rich white guy.
Right.
First, in these times where, things are being held accountable for other things.
Right. He's a victim. He was also a great philanthropist, though.
Sure.
Donated a lot of money to mental illness, to cancer, cancer research, Alzheimer's or mental illness research, stuff like that. So definitely wasn't stingy with his money. And then, Maddie, you're a big music fan. Where does the Jim Irsay band rank in your top all-time American bands?
It's my favorite band's The Replacements, Ween, maybe Typo Negative,
Yeah.
and then the Jim Irsay band.
You know, when
I'm
we
gonna
went to
say
the
top
Ween
five.
concert in San Diego, I do remember seeing a couple of the Jim Irsay band's shirts. There's a big crossover between the Ween
Well, I'll
and the
tell
Jim
you this:
Irsay
I've met
bands.
your friend, your school teacher friend. He's like, yeah, me and my wife have saw Ween 60 times, and then
Yeah,
but we've seen the Jim Irsay band 200 times.
right. No, they were most proud of that. They had
Yeah,
said they almost went broke buying all the
but
T-shirts
you
from
know
all the
what
live
though?
concerts.
Like every like, I had an ex girlfriend. Like she had lived. She was from a small town, and her uncle and their friends would go to the local bar and play. So every boomer has a fucking band where they're like, let's break out the Smoke on the Water, let's break out the Purple
Oh yeah,
Haze, let's
Well,
I've
break
seen plenty
out.
of shows like that, Batty.
Oh
oh yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure
Like
in your
Jim, where
bread.
you're from, that's all there is.
Yeah, let's break out a little
Exactly.
Yeah.
CPR, a little fog hat.
Um,
Some guy gets a little fun on the
But here's the
guitar.
deal. When you're a rich guy, you can like buy your band members. So he had his own all-star band, right? Like
Mhm.
Ringo Starr has his own all-star band, and so does Jim Irsay. And in his band included Buddy Guy, John Mellencamp, John Hyatt, one of my favorites,
Yes,
Mike Mills from REM, Tom
I
Bukovic,
love it.
Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and Kenny Aronoff, who's also John Mellencamp's drummer.
I love this. Did you ever see
And then
Brewster's
Ann
Millions?
Wilson too.
Did you ever see Brewster's Millions?
Of course, yeah.
It's like he lived Brewster's Millions without having to like have some sort of game.
Right. No, he just spent and did whatever the fuck he wanted. He was married, he had kids, and then he divorced in
And he got Peyton
2013.
Manning,
He got Peyton Manning, he
and
got
then he got Andrew Luck,
Andrew Luck.
and he died with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's what killed him.
That could be.
But
But
an interesting
and
owner.
Maddie, and just so you know, he's a member of the tribe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Most
Well,
owners
it was
are,
like low key. His dad was a member, but nobody talked about it, and
well, what's kind of funny
he didn't
is
learn it until later on.
like the Baltimore lost the Jewish owner, and then they gained the Jewish owner.
You know what I found out too is that okay, so his dad bought the Rams first, and
Yeah,
then they just swapped teams with the Baltimore owner at that time.
that's like swapping wives.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
an amazing thing. Could that be done today?
No. No, you can't just go, hey, can I have your team? You can take
And
mine.
then
Yeah, okay.
we'll throw in a
Yeah, like
player.
I want to go to LA. Yeah, I'm more of an East Coast guy. Let's just switch
We'll
teams.
throw in a player. What do the Pacers do here, by the way? They're I got 15 seconds to go. They're up by 3. Do they foul or do they let the Knicks try to shoot a 3 here?
What would you do, Maddie?
I'd probably foul, but they're not. I'll give you a little play-by-play. Brunson for 3. Short, air ball. Back out. Towns, long 3. Short. 3 seconds to go. On the ground. This is crazy. 0.2 seconds to go. Whose ball is it? It doesn't really matter but what a game. I took big bet Pacers money line. Sorry I couldn't focus. Phew. I was having a bad day.
Well, good. I hope that cheers
Isn't
you
it
up. I
great
hope
when
your
you win that
victory.
last bet, Jim?
It's a great feeling to end the day on a win.
When you get your ass kicked all fucking day?
How many bets did you make today?
5.
Jim, do you ever end the day with a? I mean, I feel like there's always something to be gambling on overseas when.
Oh, 100%. There's stuff to be betting on while you sleep.
Yeah, I have
you
guys.
Wake up. The beauty of that is you wake up and you can see, oh, I got a winner.
I have guys I play poker with, and when that last Western game, whether it's hockey, basketball, whatever, is over, you just feel like they don't know what to do.
Switch over to
The only thing
so
left is
yeah.
Australian horse racing.
We're in the middle of the NBA conference championships right now. Last night we had the Oklahoma City dismantling the Timberwolves. SGA now
He's
our
awesome.
MVP, drawing a lot of fouls, and a lot of people are not happy about this. What do you guys think about all that?
I don't think the officiating. Sorry, Jim. I don't think the officiating was the cause of the game, but like it happens that I'm watching tonight. I'm obviously biased, but I felt like Brunson got a lot of calls. Stars get calls. That's how it is.
It's not even just that though, Matt. It's how those certain guys play. Like SGA is a really good player. I think he's a great player. But when they're like jumping in for shots and then also able to like slide into somebody to get fouled, that's a skill. It
Yes.
sucks to watch, but it is a skill.
It's illegal. The refs were calling that earlier in the year too.
Yeah,
There was
they
one
kind of
where
like
he just blatantly tripped over his own feet and they called a foul.
Yeah, it's since Jordan, whatever, everybody used to complain about Jordan getting all the calls. I'll tell you this: one of the best things I ever heard, Bill Lee, the great Red Sox pitcher, and his autobiography, he talked about how he was a rookie and there's a great player on the Twins named Harmon Killebrew, and he threw a 2-0 pitch to him, and they called it a ball or something. Or it was like a 3-2 pitch, and he complained to the ump, and the umpire said, son, if that was a strike, Killebrew would have put it over the fence. And it's kind of saying like, look, you, these are fouls, or these are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we always want to kind of like, think that certain stars are getting all the calls, and you're watching, you're like, he's getting all the fucking calls, but there is a skill of drawing fouls. I noticed it with Brunson tonight. You definitely
Brunson's another
understand.
player that's really good at getting like drawing fouls. It is a skill. It just makes for bad basketball.
But like, what is like? It's everything.
But it's
How
like
many
it's
people
more.
think Mahomes is protected?
No,
Yeah,
I think if you're like leaning into people in a non-shooting
I mean,
way, that's
stars are protected. I really think, and
they
it's just
are.
like it's almost like a psychological thing where if it's a 50-50 play, the star will get the benefit of the call most of the time.
yes. I will posit it's still like a uniquely bad thing for basketball because I feel like it wrecks the pace of play.
Well, this is
I
all anybody
agree.
is talking about now, so hopefully the league will fucking do something about it in between games 1 and 2 right now.
Well, I
Although
don't.
I will say
Yeah,
I don't think it matters because I think OKC is going to whoop everyone's ass going forward.
Yeah, I think this is
I don't feel
OKC
like
to win.
OKC is the best team
They're the
by
Boston of
far.
this year. They're deep. They shoot
Yeah.
threes. They play great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They're good, man.
Yeah.
They finally
It,
matured into that team we thought they were going to be the last
yeah.
few years, and
Mm-hmm.
their defensive effort in that game 7 with the Nuggets was just
I
fucking.
always love that. Like Alexander got an interview with his teammates today. Gotta let it know that you win the MVP with your teammates.
That's right. That's a real team player right there.
But they are the best team by far. Like I love the East teams; they're fun, but OKC's the best team.
Hey
It is
guys,
cool that I saw the stat that for the NBA, was it 7 different champions in 7 years now?
and it's going
That's
to
good
continue
for them.
that way. Just the way the contracts and the cap is set up now. You like when you lose those 1 or 2 bench players in the offseason, that makes a hell of a difference now.
Yeah, with how long the season is.
Right. And how deep you need to be in the playoffs. Like if you look at that bench scoring, the Thunder are very, everybody's getting double digits on the starting lineup, and then you got several, quite a few contributors off the bench too. The energy's great, the defense is great. Yeah, so we'll see. I think Thunder's winning this year, probably. And then at some point, we're going to get Houston's finally going to mature. Like, there's a lot of young teams that are ready to take over now in the next
By
few
the way, can I
years.
just change the subject real fast?
Please.
Joey C's sister got married. I have to send you the footage of the wedding. That's
Uh,
awesome.
okay. I look forward to that. It means nothing to know about
You will
everybody.
never see a white trash wedding like this. Sorry. All right, go on.
I probably DJ'd a few, if I'm being
No,
honest.
this Luke. We'll talk about it later.
Well, You guys, I think I found a new excuse for us to all meet up in Vegas.
Oh,
Okay, so
Porn awards,
now even better. So in May of 2026, there's a new sporting competition called
Hackmania.
the Enhanced Games.
oh, okay. What are we talking about?
These
Is
are
that where you?
Olympic style games where you can use performance enhancing drugs.
Oh, dude, I remember seeing like previews for that last year.
I think it would be
Um,
more entertaining if everybody was on like 30, 40 milligrams of edibles. Be more fun.
There's probably, isn't that just the X Games?
Yeah, that's a good one. Um, but like, yeah, this is kind of like where they're like football, no pads, no, those things never last. This is shit Jim
hey,
wants with
Matty. There
gimmick
is a football
bullshit.
league that does no pads. It's been
I
around
know.
for like 6, 7 years.
Yeah, gimmick
Isn't that
bullshit.
rugby? Come
Yeah.
on. What are we doing?
A7FL. No, it's full, like, it's American football, full contact, 7-on-7,
It's
no pads.
nude?
No. There's
Why
no
not?
pads. It'd be cool if it was nude.
Pants or pads, as far as I'm concerned. Balls to balls.
Ooh, okay.
Imagine
I'd be
the
down with
full
that.
speed ball explosion.
They do post like highlights and stuff on YouTube and everything. And those guys do go hard. Like they're just giving each other CTE for like a couple $100 a
Dude,
season.
I remember I played backyard football when we were like in maybe upper middle school, or maybe we were freshmen in high school. But we played, no pads tackle in my backyard. We were getting hit. We were getting beat up left and right. Finally, we had to
Bring
go.
the
We're too
carrier.
big to do this without pads. So we just stopped
These
the
are like
game.
these are like 28-year-old
Like,
guys.
but the
No, I
thing
know. These
about
are
like
like guys
enhanced,
that were
the
bigger and
thing,
stronger than we were
the
at
thing
that
about
time.
enhanced thing is like it's silly because I got news for you. Everybody's on enhancements. Like whatever you can, whatever fails a test, these drug companies just come up with something that passes the test.
No,
So
no,
they're
no.
always enhanced.
There's a Greek swimmer that's already participated in some of their events apparently.
Yeah.
And so he was like a gold medal swimmer to begin with. He started training with the PEDs, with the steroids, and he's like breaking world records now. I mean, of course, it's not going to stand in the sports size world, but like they'll give you bonuses if you break a world record and everything too. I think
I'm
we've
here
all
for it.
thought about this. Is one like I kind of feel like this is like there was a certain contingent of people that were like for Trump, maybe they didn't really care one way or another, but they're like, I kind of just want to see what the fuck happens,
Well, the other thing about it is
And
like,
I
yeah,
feel like
sorry.
that's what this is. Like, let's just see what the fuck happens. It
Well,
could
it's
be
kind of like
cool.
the
People on
Johnny
PEDs and everything, who
Knoxville.
cares?
It's like
What's
that
that?
Johnny Knoxville movie where he was in the Special Olympics,
Yeah, the
but
ringer.
this is now the enhanced, which I mean, again, to me, it doesn't matter because I think everybody's
Wait,
enhanced
Maddie, are
anyway.
you calling for an enhancement Special Olympics?
No, I'm just saying
Oh
that,
yeah.
like, whatever's illegal, they've already figured out a new substance that could get by the test.
No,
That
but
it,
there's Greek guy's proof though. He's already breaking all the world records.
well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what other sports, but
Well, the thing is like, okay, suppose you got all these masking agents or whatever. You still have to, it's still super calculated. If you don't
yeah,
have to calculate and you don't have to try to hide anything, just fucking do it all. You're like hooked up to just nothing but IVs at night, just pumping in you like some supervillain character. You're gonna do some pretty exceptional shit. I mean,
Yeah, everyone's gonna
your
be hooked
heart's
up
gonna
like
explode at some
Ivan
but I
point.
Drago
was
from
in.
fucking Rocky Four.
Yeah, Rocky Four. It's Ivan Drago, but like now everyone gets to be Ivan Drago.
Well,
I'm here for it. When does it start, Luke? When is that happening?
Well, they're announcing it for May 2026. I have a feeling somebody will step in though at some point and go no.
it's
Like
Vegas. There's a lot of
I
weird
don't know.
stuff there.
Like I don't know. Like if you because you have to go through gaming commissions and stuff. I think I don't know how that shit works. Um, but maybe it's supposed to be in Vegas. So otherwise,
Yeah.
this sounds like something they do on like on an Indian reservation somewhere, like where you can
They'll end
skirt a
up doing it.
bunch
They'll
of.
move it to Reno. Anything can go on in Reno.
Hmm.
Moved to Torino, and no one just seemed to care at that point. All right. WNBA is back, Maddie.
Yes, I have a lot to say about this.
Oh my
You
god,
do.
dude! I'm so happy the WNBA is back. I'm happy for all the takes. It's been awesome on Twitter.
It's been horrible.
Yes.
It's been. Let me tell you, I'm gonna give a take that nobody's given. The WNBA.
I'll be the judge of that, Maddie.
I
Let's get
don't know
a
what
lot of
they're.
takes.
I don't know what the WNBA wants to do. I don't think they know what they want to do, because you knew this was going to happen. You're not doing your league a service. Like, I get what they were like, oh, let's put Caitlyn Clark versus her arch rival, the first game, Angel Reese, the big Clark rival. The blood is so bad that it's not fun, it's not entertaining, it's just really ugly, and it just puts everybody in these bizarre black and white takes where it doesn't do the league any fucking service. Like, it really doesn't. I know they got to play against each other, but when you do it the first game of the year, when the temperature is high, are you going for sensationalism? Or are you going for the best product to market your league the best way? And I don't know what they're doing, because the takes on the internet are so insane. You
You think
got
it's just
fucking RG3
crossed into
fighting with
toxic?
Ryan Clark. It's crazy.
Wait, what did RG3 say?
RG3 was just like, Angel Reese is like out of control. Like, she just hates Caitlyn Clark. You can see this is not a rivalry. This
Yeah,
is like hatred.
right.
And then Ryan Clark jumps in, and they're fighting now. They're like, you got a white wife, you got this, and you're just like, this is not fair to Caitlyn Clark.
Wait,
She's
Ryan
just trying to
Clark was
play
saying
back.
RG3
Yeah, you got to see it. It's crazy.
oh my
Yeah, he
god.
was he was he was telling RD3, he's like, I used to back up for you. I fucking hated your ass. No one liked you at ESPN or on the Commanders. Everyone fucking hated you. Da da da. You got a white wife. That's
I
basically what
mean,
about what Ryan Clark said.
it's like, we want to celebrate. When I
Holy
started
shit.
watching the game, I was like, wow, Angel Reese, she developed an outside shot. But then when the foul happened, and it was a very pedestrian foul, it wasn't a hard foul, it was a basketball foul. And then when you see people, I saw a woman actually with this take. She was like, this is what we deal with in the office. Every time a white person undermines us, talks down to us. And I'm like, what is going on? And the WNBA is just like, let everything simmer. Let both of them play. Both of them have their like moment in the sun before you come right out and have this like problem. Or get them in a room together and be like, the league is bigger than you two, in the sense of like, this is not good for business. You can't keep doing this. And then they keep protecting Angel Reese, where everything is about protecting her. And it's like, okay, I don't want to watch it all. I'm done. And I
I
was
disagree, man.
watching.
I think it is good for the league.
Yeah, Manny, this was the highest regular season WNBA game in
I
25
understand that,
years.
but
Caitlyn balled out too. She had like a 27-point triple
no,
double.
I understand, but you're gonna burn it down for like the quick fix.
I don't know
You
how they're
gotta
going to burn
think.
it down.
You gotta think of long term, because it just gets too volatile. It just becomes too much of a look. If this is what they're going for, if they want controversy, if they
I
want
don't
people
think it's the
tweeting things,
I don't think it's the WNBA wanting controversy. Like anytime they play, that you're going to get the controversy.
but you have to know this was gonna happen.
You know what? Anytime they're going to play, though,
You wait. You kind of build it up where you kind of like to go the first game of the year, to have them
you could argue that it's like better to just rip the Band-Aid off.
Well, I guess they ripped the Band-Aid, because now it's uglier than ever. And I don't like seeing it, because like, I want to root for the league. I want to watch the league. But if it's all about other stuff and not sports, I can't watch.
That's like, I don't know if that's the WNBA's fault. That's just like the people that watch the WNBA's fault. Like, they're not true sports fans.
Well, who are the real WNBA fans? Because there's two. That's the problem. The people in the league that hate Caitlyn Clark think all of us people that came in to watch Caitlyn are not real fans, and they don't want us. And then the people that are Caitlyn Clark fans, it's like, oh, this is great. So it's like, it's very confusing. It's like, if you don't want me to watch for Caitlyn Clark, I don't have to watch.
Everything that I've kind of been like seeing is like actual sports fans are getting into the WNBA now, but they're also being and acting like regular sports fans do,
Yeah.
which you guys know, like sports fans online especially are crazy and say like the most outlandish shit and go hard on people. And like the regular WNBA fans aren't used to that yet.
It's I will say this.
I literally saw a picture like today of SGA as Osama bin Laden. Like that's the kind of things that sports fans do online.
That is
And
true.
like if you did that to like Caitlyn Clark or Angel Reese, you're gonna get a hit piece on you.
Well, that's when I read that thing about like when this woman was saying like every time we've been talked down in the office, I'm like, this is sports. This
Oh,
is what we do.
did you see the take that Caitlyn Clark should have been suspended for the rest of the season for asking to go back in for the triple double?
Who said that?
Someone on Twitter. It was like 1,000 or like 10,000 likes or something like that. She was like, Caitlyn Clark should be suspended for the rest
Dude,
of the
I'll
season.
never. One of the craziest things when Tom Brady was deemed as a white supremacist, a wide receiver used to play for him named Rashae Caldwell was murdered in Tampa. He was from Tampa. He played with the Patriots in the mid 2000s. And this guy actually was like, Rashae Caldwell was murdered and Tom Brady lives in Tampa. And people are like, what are you trying to say here? He's like, I don't know, put it together. And this was like a real, I'm telling you, he was like not like a major journalist, but a sports journalist of some sort. And the internet is, that's why I got on Twitter. It's just so bizarre.
The takes are great. The takes are fantastic.
It does rot your brain because anybody has a take. Everybody and anybody has a take, and it's insane where people go. It really,
and it does, like Maddie is right. It does suck that like it is fun basketball and it is like a fun quote unquote rivalry. But it does suck that like a percentage of each like Angel Reese's and Caitlyn Clark's fan base are kind of trying to turn this into like some kind of race war.
And that's not fair to Caitlyn Clark.
No, it's not. Like, Isaiah Thomas hated fucking Michael Jordan and vice versa.
Yes.
They're both black men. And you know what? That's shit people loved in the 80s and early 90s that a lot of people bitch about today because all the NBA players are friends. They want that hatred.
Look, at the end of okay. At the end
no,
of
like, the players hating each other is good for the sport, Maddie.
Yeah.
When Magic Johnson got HIV, Larry Bird called him crying. When Larry Bird retired, these were the biggest rivals, black, white. Black people love Magic, white people love Bird, yada, yada. This is 40 years ago. But at the end, they loved each other and they respected each other. I wish Angel and Caitlyn would love and respect each other, but it's not even close to being there. And as a league, it's like, do you want to have like where it's a good league where everybody's enjoying it, or do you want to get into like my person is this and my person is that, and therefore this is this? Like, I don't want to deal with that. I want to admire them for playing. And as watching them, I will say this, even watching Caitlyn, I got in the league through Caitlyn. I watched the other teams and I think it's good. It's very competitive basketball. So because of her, I got in it. I will say this, in the Celtics documentary, this is very similar to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Because when Larry came in the league, the NBA was on tape delay. So believe it or not, the championship games were on at like 2 a.m. after fucking Colbert and Taylor Tomlinson. All right. That's when you're watching the NBA finals. And the league was seen as too black. And whether that was fair, it was just how America was at the time. Shitty, yes. It just was what it was. And Larry Bird, obviously, and Magic brought it to something that now it is today. And everybody will say they saved the NBA. And every athlete that was black was like, this is great. We're making more money. Now people can see us and how great we are and respect us. So they were all happy about it. This idea that like Caitlyn Clark to the older garb, and these are not just black, these like Cindy Brunson got fired and a couple other people got fired because they keep going after Caitlyn Clark. It's like, why can you not see? You can't, you don't necessarily know why somebody makes something bigger, but why can't you
Maddie,
see?
I will say this though. It's not Magic and Bird because Reese does not have the talent to go
No.
against her. Like that team is not going to be good, the Chicago
No,
team.
I agree.
And
I get what you're saying.
like there's not going to be a competitive rivalry, so this is the only way to create a rivalry.
Yeah.
This is the best thing Reese can do for herself. She's gotten tons of endorsements and everything.
Well, she's not
She's
a
only
terrible
known through
player.
this.
She's a good player. If
She
she
is a
just
good
played
player,
and
but she's,
focused.
she's just like a rebounding forward. Like it's
Yeah, the position does not lend itself to like the kind of stardom that
right.
or the flashiness, I
Like
should
she
say.
can't shoot. Like it's just
Yeah.
unfortunately the
It just
competition is
puts you're
not the
putting
same.
Caitlyn Clark in a bad position. The league is because she has to keep answering these questions about race, about this, about how much she appreciates this, about
I mean,
Angel
she's
Reese.
answered all that shit already and very correctly in the
And
way,
she does,
you
but
know.
it's like, how much more can you do before it breaks you?
Well, you're trained. It's part of the job. Maddie, she's with her endorsement deal, she's going to be worth over 100 million sooner than later.
Well,
Like
the WNBA did a good thing. They fired Cindy Brunson. They fired Cheryl Swoops, was it? I forget who it was. They fired two people that just would go after Caitlyn Clark time and time again. And they're just like, how can we market the league when our newest star that brings in so much
yeah.
is being shit on by our people that are trying to promote the league? It's crazy.
But this all this stuff just leads to viral moments for better or worse, and it does help with a narrative, and that's how a lot of sports are just sold with a
That's
narrative. If there's no
that's
narrative,
fine. I rather
unfortunately.
it because I'm not the biggest social media person. I'd rather watch the games and enjoy them. But if so much is about all this other stuff off the court, I can't get involved because
But
it just.
Maddie, all that stuff's on social media though.
What do you mean?
Like, what are you seeing?
Yeah,
Where like
Maddie.
all that other stuff is on like the
What are you
games
watching,
themselves are
Maddie?
fine. All the other stuff is on social media.
Huh?
Yeah, you cannot escape it. Every article is about it. So, like ESPN, immediately the first article was fans in Indiana were super racist. League is going into a probe. The next article, Caitlyn Clark condemns fans. Blah blah blah. So like you see it everywhere, and you go on social media for 1 second. Because like I was curious what people thought of the foul, and it was amazing. It felt like Caitlyn Clark
My
shot her.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Like
Speaking,
pulled
one of
out a
my other
gun and
favorite
shot
things
her.
that I saw, Maddie, was people saying that Caitlin Clark should be in jail. She
It's
should be in
insane.
jail for assault.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So like
That's
when you
like
see that,
Bobby.
you're like,
That's
all right,
Bobby
I don't
Heenan
want to. I
shit
don't
right
want to
there.
watch this crap. Like this is
I
garbage.
love it.
All right. Well, we won't burn you out right now because we'll be talking a lot more
Cool.
about that this season. Tush push still legal in the NFL.
Hell
Which
Passed by
yeah.
it
two
should be
votes. They
illegal.
wanted to ban it, and apparently Jeff Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, was like, He's in front of like women and stuff. He's like, Tush push. This is like a wet dream either way. Like a
What
wet
does that mean?
dream. If we ban it, then we created a play that needed banning. If not, we get to keep using. It's a wet dream for us. Either way.
Another win for the toe.
It was pretty amazing shit. Pretty amazing
I'm glad
shit. But
that
look
you
forward
think.
to more tushing of the pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you see the other potential thing that they're trying to do with the divisions and all that?
With the reseeding,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the
They
Lions
making
put they
the
withdrew
games a little
their
less like
they
request
went
important.
through it. Yeah.
to do that. I don't know. I'm sure that'll come again some year when we get a big, second round mismatch. But until then, I don't know. We got the Rockies in baseball are the fastest to reach 40 losses in MLB history. I don't know what happened, but like a few years ago, the Tigers set the record, and then like the White Sox set the record last year, and now it's
Yeah.
like, are we going to get another record for the shittiest baseball team like within
Yeah.
like five, 6
I
years?
think the reason why is teams are saying like, the draft was so unpredictable in baseball,
Mhm.
but now they're saying like we got to tank. The best way to get good is to tank and trust the process. I mean, the Astros did it. they were terrible and they got good fast. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, the best way to get good is just get draft picks and tank. So
Yeah, MLB draft picks are like they take a long time usually to develop.
mhm.
So like it's not like you get this hot new rookie that can come in and change your team. It's like
No, but still,
yeah. So
teams
you
are
can when
getting
you're taking that's like a
yeah.
multi-year process in
hmm You're
baseball.
trying to tank like maybe 3 years in a row and get like six prospects that are top, you know, fifth, fifth, top five picks for 3 years, and hope those three guys, and then
Ugh.
can do something
You guys know
among
who
probably
Rich Hill
trading other
is?
guys. Anybody that's halfway decent,
You know who Rich Hill is, Maddie?
of course.
Mr.
He's,
Blister, as we used to call him when he was in LA, because he had to be out games with blisters on his hands.
yeah, he would
Great pitcher.
literally pitch 5 innings, and he'd pitch like 80 pitches for 5 innings, give up 1 run. He couldn't pitch more than 5 innings though. As soon as it was like 80 pitches, he
Yeah.
would get lit up.
So he's
He's a
45
left.
years old now,
Mhm.
and he's pitching in the Kansas City minor league system.
Lefties can pitch a long time though.
He pitched he pitched to 12. He retired all 12 batters he faced, striking out seven, and every single team on the Cubs minor league team he faced was not even born when he was drafted.
Yeah, he went to college with Tom Brady.
Just getting.
That's the other statistic.
Did he play
He
at
was
Michigan?
he was a freshman.
Rich Hill? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I
and
didn't
Tom
know.
Brady was a senior. So
Yeah.
he can say that.
Also goes
Maybe
by the
they're
Bishop.
Eskimo brothers. Who knows?
Yeah, I really liked him when he was a Dodger.
He's from Massachusetts.
How is he? Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
But he's one of those guys. He's been on like every team. I think he's been on the Red Sox like 3 times, and he's a good lefty. He's a Jamie Moyer type. Jamie Moyer pitched to about 46 too. Same kind of deal. Lefty, slow pitching, kind of tries to get you out by finesse as opposed to power.
Right.
But yeah, look,
So,
yeah.
yeah, we had a. You guys remember last week when that kid fell off the balcony of the baseball game?
Mhm. I do.
So that kid was actually only 20. His friend who was with him was 21 and buying him like a beer.
Oh, this is so
And
sad.
this kid is getting charged with serving alcohol to a
I
minor.
get it.
That's
My
just a
old
fine, though, isn't it?
listen,
I don't know because it did lead to a
Oh,
serious
true.
injury. I don't know if that plays
like I
into
told
it.
my older sister, like my niece is 18, and sometimes her and her friends go downstairs and drink. And I'm always like, you got to be careful. And because, like, in this world, you never know what's going to happen. And I
Right.
can remember being at Cumberland Farms, at 17, 16. Hey, can you buy his kids beer? Buy
Yeah.
his kids beer. And we'd always used to think, like, the guy that bought us beer was really cool, but
Right.
the guy that didn't buy us beer sucked. But now,
Sure.
like, the guy that bought us beer was a piece of shit. And, like, nowadays with like everything with computers and the internet, if something happens to a kid, you're responsible.
Yeah. 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 No, we always had like older friends that were doing this. I've only had to ask strangers a few
I mean,
times.
this is more of a like we're gonna charge you because we have to set a precedent. Like you can't fuck around.
Well, they have to just
Yes.
because it's so known and legal. I wouldn't be surprised if not much happens with this though going forward, like whether
I would
it's
be surprised if there's
Hopefully,
like a settlement or something.
yeah, right. Like, but they sort of have to do this. I understand that point. It does suck, unfortunately, but that is just a part of the dumb world we live in right now. NFL players have been cleared to play in our flag football in Olympics in 2028. Are you excited?
yes.
Who's your lineup?
And
All right,
it's
this
in
was
two
the
years.
proposed lineup. So it doesn't quite mirror actual football because this is going to be 2028, remember? So people are going to be older. Jaden Daniels, Jameer Gibbs, Devon Achane, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Travis Hunter, Micah Parsons, Nolan Smith
How do
Jr.,
they ever
Derek
lose a
Stingley
game?
Jr., and Maxwell Hairston. So this
What
is
other?
weird. Like the center can go catch a pass in this league.
Yeah, because it's like 7-on-7, right?
Right. And then the quarterback can't run past the line of scrimmage either.
It's kind of fun in this
Yep.
in the
So
sense
you
of
really just want a guy who's like pocket presence avoidance.
Yeah.
Like not you don't necessarily need like a good running quarterback. You just need someone who's good at
Who
dodging.
can scramble,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I feel like if you just had good hips, no one would ever be able to take the flag.
You can't get the flags.
Right. Just put Shakira out there. Just hips don't lie. But it's going to be cool though, and I think it's going to be really good for the NFL when people see these athletes out there. If the game looks good, I think it's could be huge for the NFL actually, because the NFL is still fighting for international viewership.
Yeah, they're doing what, like 6 international games this season too?
Yeah, they're fighting hard. I mean, like baseball, basketball are much bigger on the world stage than football is. And
yeah, it's kind of
else?
fun because it's like a new sport in a sense that we're already beyond dominant and we'll be off the earth. Even XFL Jim, a young tyke, probably 15, 20 years younger than me, maybe, will even in your lifetime, you will never see another country win a gold medal in flag football. Your
I'm
grandkids,
not 20 years
will.
younger than you, Maddie.
Your grandkids will see another country win. Not your kids, but your grandkids.
They'll probably have an NFL team in another country before another country wins
Yes,
a
they
gold
will.
medal.
Well, that's not
Jets
too
will win
far
the Super
fetched.
Bowl.
I'm pretty sure they'll give Toronto one if they want.
The Jets will win the Super Bowl. The Lions will win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska will win another natty. Good news for you, Jim, and the people in Nebraska.
That'll all happen within the next 80 years, Jim.
But I will say, not in another 50 years. Well, and it will be amazing. It will be that moment of like, oh my God, the United States flag football team got upset.
What happens to the guys that are like on the flag football team right now?
Fuck you. We got Jefferson. We got JJ. Like if Lamar Jackson wants to play, you're gonna tell Lamar Jackson he can't play.
Oh, he'll be deep in his 30s by that point.
Like if they use some guy like Johnny Football or something, or somebody that who's a guy that not a bust like Johnny Football, but who's a guy that couldn't really make it yet, like Kellen Mond.
Right. No, Shea Patterson, man. They're gonna
yeah, Shea Patterson. You're gonna tell Shea Patterson, even though they would win with who is the quarterback? Warwick Austin who is the quarterback for Michigan?
Wait, which one? Shea Patterson was.
No, this year.
Oh, this year, Warren Davis?
Yeah, Warren Davis would easily win the gold medal. So, but still, you got to go with the
okay. No, but like, look, this year in the Olympics we had the 3-on-3 teams in basketball, and Jimmer Fredette was on one of those teams.
Yeah, but you know that like Justin Jefferson even said, my dream is to win a gold medal. So once a guy of his status wants to do this,
oh yeah,
all the guys are going to want to do.
Football players to actually win gold medals.
Yes.
No, it'd be cool. I mean, I think it's gonna be rad. I wish they'd do that for the NBA though. Let those NBA guys.
So what year does another country win a gold medal in the Olympics in flag football? If we're in 2000, if it's gonna happen in 2028, I'm gonna say not till the 22nd century, probably.
It's gonna be hard if they allow like the pros because no other country has pro teams. Only other what?
Yeah, Japan.
Come on.
Well, okay. So
Canada, Japan.
No, what about Mexico, like Samoa?
Europe.
because you
Look,
do get
somebody,
Samoan
yeah,
players,
yeah,
right?
that's what happened is all these guys that are from Hawaii are gonna play for the country of like the Philippines or Samoa or something.
Just
But
lumping them all together.
people will start developing flag football in other countries and they'll start developing something, but it
It's
won't.
I think like if I was like China would they'll jump on this because they'll be like, look, we can never match the physicality. The only problem is that these guys are playing football day in and day out. Like this is their whole fucking life, full-time job. They played for 20 plus years by the time they're 30, you know. So it's just really hard to match that. So I think unless another country really starts putting players in the league more. I think there's a few African countries that are starting to put, you know, people in the league. The Samoan countries are for sure. We've seen that for a while now. I don't know, but it's just gonna be cool though. Either way, it's gonna be like the
Yeah.
dream team, you know,
All
or the
right. I
dream
wish we
team.
didn't have to wait 3 years.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks. The waiting is the hardest part, as Tom Petty would say. All right, let's wait no more. Let's just jump right in. On the dark side. Oh, dark side of the ring. This week we're talking about the Sheik, not the Iron Sheik, who ripped off the Sheik, the original Sheik, Mr. Farhat, Sabu's uncle.
Mhm. Wasn't really dark.
It wasn't dark. It was kind of
It was
wholesome,
more
to
like a
be
bio.
honest.
Yeah, this is like full on just regular. This is like a YouTube documentary of it. It felt like.
It was almost inspirational.
It just felt like any guy running a business. Like the business was great, and then he just got a little too old to run it, and
And
then
he had some, he was,
had some hard
well,
times, stayed married,
yep.
and had a
So
good life.
amazing he survived that match in Japan, but I'm sure you'll get to that.
So he was a first generation Lebanese American. Grew up in Lansing, Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and he started his career pretty much right off the bat as being the Sheik. He he would appear in the ring like berating his wife and then doing prayers and whatever like freaking Muslim stereotype bullshit Arab you can come up with. Um, and the funny thing is he's a Catholic too. That's what a lot of people don't get. Is a lot of the Arabs who go into Eastern Michigan there. A lot of them are Chaldean.
Christian.
They're Christians from the
Yeah.
region. Um, but so it's funny. So he's like maybe he had beef with them too. He's taking the piss out of himself. So I don't know. So it was pretty funny. And then as Jim Cornette said, it was great because every territory you'd have this guy. Back in the day we didn't have internet, so everybody from foreign countries were so exotic,
Mm-hmm.
especially from Arabia and different regions like that.
The Iron Sheik was that in the 80s.
Iron Sheik. What's that?
He was like that in the 80s.
Yeah, well, the Iron Sheik, but that played into the whole Iranian thing with the
True.
uh, Jimmy Carter and all that bullshit. So this guy was a real deal. He was a bad dude. He employed a lot of the hardcore wrestling techniques that a lot of people use today and ECW and whatnot. He had many battles with Abdullah the Butcher, and we've covered Abdullah the Butcher before. He talked like this, and it was very fascinating. He would even throw fire at his opponents. He was the first to bring out a snake,
Love
and
that.
he never broke kayfabe. He went by the Sheik at all times. Sabu was saying they had dinner parties. Sabu was his nephew, and they would have when he had dinner parties at his house. The heels would sit at one table, and the baby face would sit at another table just to keep kayfabe, even within his own friggin' home. And if you had to call him by Sheik too, if you called the house and asked for Mr. Farhat, you wouldn't get anything. But if you asked for the Sheik, you get him. And he was
That's like that. Just as an aside, that was like hearing that. It just made me appreciate like wrestling in that era, how committed everyone had to be.
Oh,
yeah,
they were committed.
I think it's awesome. You
Yeah.
I
know,
love it.
like because like imagine like you live next door to that guy and he's sitting there, wearing his turban,
Yep.
and whatnot.
Mowing his
And
lawn.
what's that? Yeah,
He's mowing
mowing
his
his
lawn.
lawn.
I mean, you live
And
it,
you think you live
you
right
live
next to
it
a
for
real
sure.
hero, like,
Yeah.
wow, that's cool. It's like if Robert Downey Jr. mowed the lawn in his Iron Man outfit. Like,
Exactly.
wow, that's shit's real. Holy cow. But the Sheik was a smart dude. He ended up, he realized the people that made the money at the time were the promoters, so he buys Detroit's Big Time Wrestling, which ran out of the legendary Cobo Arena in Detroit. He made more money than any wrestler at that time. I think they said he averaged like 400,000 a year, which is about 2 million in today's dollars. And like you guys, he's a degenerate gambler. Lost a lot of his money gambling.
Mm-hmm.
One cool thing he did though was he rarely agreed to lose a match. He always wanted to be the champ and be the unstoppable villain. But he decided to lose in Detroit in the 1967. There were all these race riots going on, and he agreed to lose to a black gentleman named Bobo Brazil. And one of the few times he lost. And like everybody in the dark side of the ring is like that helped ease the tensions in the city. And they were serious. So I have to take their word for it. Like a wrestling match solved a racial. You guys think that's
Just like
real?
always, wrestling
Great
solves
story.
racism.
See, it's too happy this one.
Right.
Like he
I
was a
know.
pillar of Detroit, like a Michigan. He's almost like a hero of the state. Like he's almost a politician of some sort.
Yeah, yeah. He's a guy in a powerful position that wants to use his powers for good.
Mm-hmm.
So in the mid 70s, he's getting older, still refusing to lose. The economy tanks and attendance starts to decline. The promotion folds by 1980. He ended up owing a lot of people money, as what happens when any business folds. Revives his career in Japan. Then he can't find work. He has to sell his mansion and take small shows at high school gyms. Maddie's been to some of those gym shows.
One with ECW.
Yeah.
When I got to see his nephew,
Yeah. Well, that's
Sabu,
so he decided to start training. His nephew wanted he he was he was
and
like
RVD.
Sabu. So Sabu was his nephew, but Sabu was like that's more like my dad because Sabu's dad was like
Yeah,
a piece of shit who would beat him
yeah.
up and beat his mom up, and then
Mm-hmm.
the Sheik would come over and beat the fuck out of his dad while wearing the
Yep.
Sheik outfit,
Mm-hmm.
and then Sabu's like, I want to be the Sheik. So he trains the Sheik, or he trains the Sheik trains Sabu, and he does it like in a very Mr. Miyagi way, where he had to go set up the ring every morning and then tear it down at night for 7 months without even stepping foot in the ring. I thought that was pretty funny. And then
That's pretty good.
he also trained RVD, Rob Van Dam,
The total fucking
the
show.
whole fucking show.
Who was a great tag team with Sabu, and they worked so well together.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Sabu after because he passed away a few days ago.
Yeah. And RVD, one of the better athletes ever to be in the wrestling world. So he's looking for one more big payday. He takes a fire match in Japan, and we've covered this before. This was him and Sabu, and they're fighting a couple of Japanese guys, I believe. And that's when they set the whole ring on fire, and the winds were out of control. So they all had to like hunch down in the middle of the ring, and then they're still trying to sort of look like they're fighting, and he's still trying to do that, but they can't breathe. Sabu gets out of there, and then by the time the Sheik gets out of the ring, Sabu's throwing water on him. He's like, "Why did you throw water on me?" He's like, "Your skin was you're smoking. Your skin was falling off."
Kayfabe,
He's like,
baby.
"Well, I still gotta throw fire out of my hands. Why'd you throw
Kayfabe.
water on me?" Total
Fuck. And
pro.
fucking, this is when Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Shawn Michaels and fucking Diesel broke kayfabe for the first time in the 90s, is the equivalent of what Sabu did to his uncle.
Yeah, just bullshit, Sabu. How dare you? And by in so they found out he had third degree burns on 20% of his body, and he was still out there trying to wrestle. And he's just crazy. He was managing Sabu in a match where Sabu does some flip out of the ring and accidentally breaks the Sheik's leg. And the Sheik still threw a fireball after that on a bum leg in his 70s. And then he passed away at 76. And that's the story of the Sheik.
Built different.
Wasn't exactly a dark story, but
it's a good
it's
story.
a very good story. It's an uplifting story,
It
but
was. I think it's very inspirational.
yeah.
First
The bright
generation
side of the ring.
American.
Yeah, it should be inspirational side of the ring. Billy Jack
Yeah.
Kane's dark, very dark.
Maybe they'll
This
divvy up the
one, I was
shows.
like, I kept waiting. I'm like, during the fire match, I'm like, oh, he dies in the ring. This is where it gets really dark. And then, he survives and he keeps going and all this. He's kind of a great story. He's like the American dream. He
He
really is.
is.
That's what the story is he's more the American dream than Dusty Rhodes ever was.
That's like,
But
hey, what
not
you talking
necessarily
about?
dark.
What you talking about? Maddie, I'm the American dream. That's the road.
Sapphire.
That does make me think, Maddie. What do you think is the darkest episode of Dark Side?
Well, the guy that was Jake Roberts' father was pretty dark. But besides that,
well, I mean, I think anything
Chris
covering the
Benoit,
Von Erichs.
Benoit is pretty dark.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some that are like so dark. Something that's like to be celebrated in dark is like Brian Pillman, because Brian Pillman was a great talent, but his wrestling career was very dark. Like there was success, but there was a lot of darkness in his life and what he was doing and how he was spiraling out of control. And that kind of is like, without getting too dark. Some of the like death match guys, I'll watch, but I won't look because that type of violence doesn't really intrigue me. So I watched this without kind of watching like the barbed wire but it was a good story. So, but
yeah, it was good. I mean,
yeah, I would say
76 is long for a wrestler.
I would say Brian Pillman, his story, it kind of has everything.
Right.
Our New Jack is another one. Because New Jack, there's like, he was a great talker. He was a fun wrestler, but there was darkness to his story.
Yeah. Ludwig Borga,
great
somebody who
the great fucking, even though it was funny, is the UWF guy. Who's the UWF guy?
Herb Abrams.
Herb Abrams was very dark.
Right. Those are like entertainingly dark. Like these guys weren't meant to be around for a long time, but they had a good time.
David
Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth. That's it, baby. David Lee Roth probably should have died a long time ago. It would have been served him better, I think.
Yeah. It would have helped his legacy.
Absolutely.
Right after Van Halen 1984. He didn't put out those shitty solo albums.
Right there. I don't know. I could have, maybe after Panama. I like Panama.
Give me a glazed donut and a bottle of anything to go. That's from?
That's from California Girls. Huh?
Yankee Rose.
Oh, is it Yankee Rose? That's where they're in the drugstore?
Yeah. She goes, not if you were the last immigrant grocer on the face of the earth.
Good. My God. All right, you
Almost
guys got
racing.
anything to add before we cut out of here for the night?
Well, just rest in peace, Sabu. He passed away. He
Yeah.
kind of like, he did that retirement match. I'm sure that will be a episode in the future because I'm seeing a lot of videos where people are pissed that they let him do that, or the company let him do that, do the stuff that he did in that match. But I will say this about people. People do what they love, and if they can't do what they love, they don't feel like living. And I'm not saying like Sabu should have done that, but something compelled him that like, if I'm not wrestling, I'm not living. I mean, and it's hard to get people not to do what they love to do.
The movie The Wrestler was very accurate in that
Yes, it was.
depiction. Jim, anything before we go? Any UFL news?
Yeah, the playoffs are set, boys. It's the Michigan Panthers versus the Birmingham Stallions for the USFL Conference Championship, and the St. Louis Battlehawks versus the DC Defenders for the XFL Championship. So we
All
got
right.
the playoffs are set and the home venues are set just because of venue conflict. So they're playing in St. Louis and they're playing in Birmingham no matter what. So these last 2 weeks don't really mean anything.
Okay. Who's your money on?
Michigan's playing some really, really good ball right now. Bryce Perkins, their guy. Watch out for him in NFL preseason. He played at Virginia. He's a stud. St. Louis is strong if they get like actual quarterback play out of Max Duggan. He hasn't really been able to throw the ball. DC is really strong right now. Defense is fun, and Jordan Thomas playing at an MVP caliber level. And you can never count out Birmingham, even though they played.
Don't count out the Birmingham Barons.
The Stallions have played 5 different quarterbacks. They've started 5 different quarterbacks this season.
You know what's funny about that? Guess how many songs the Ween has a song called The Stallion. It has, guess how many parts?
Is it 5?
Yes.
It's meant to be. Ween halftime show for the UFL Championship.
So every once in a while you can go see Ween and see him do the Stallion Suite. That means they do 1 through 5 consecutively.
Would you tune in if Ween was doing the UFL halftime show?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That would be so great. Oh my God. Maybe that's the only thing that could reunite them at this point.
Possibly.
Doing it for the UFL, motherfuckers. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. Wait, real quick, predictions on this Knicks Pacers series.
Pacers in 6, OKC in 5, OKC in 6.
I agree with all of that.
I'm going to say Knicks in 7. And I'm going to say OKC in 6. I'm going to say OKC in 6.
Knicks in 7. Very interesting.
Yep.
I think the Knicks got a lot of heart. I just don't think they got enough talent.
This was a tough one.
Yeah.
This was a tough loss.
That's real deflating too. They've been waiting a long time for this. But
not to mention you got the choke thing.
Yeah. Now you got the choke thing going on. So, and now anytime they get a league, it's going to be like sitting there in the back of their heads.
It would be wild if in 30 years the Pacers play the Knicks in the playoffs and a game like this happens and the Pacers win and a guy does a choke.
Yeah.
It'd be like, this is 60 years they've been doing this.
Every 30 years. It's like Jeepers Creepers. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. Bye-bye.